Good morning, everybody. So on Wednesday, May 27th, Disney met with the Orange County Task Force meeting to present their plans for reopening Walt Disney World. So today I just wanted to make a video to cover everything that they talked about and discuss their plans. So let's get started. So first things first with Disney Springs. So Disney Springs was not part of the reopening plans that they mentioned on the Wednesday's meeting, but they did open Disney Springs in different phases, starting on May 20th with some third-party locations and some of the restaurants, some of the shopping locations there. And then on May 27th, they opened up to the Disney locations. So, or the Disney Marketplace Co-op, that kind of stuff opened up on May 27th. Now, this list is always changing, so if you want to see the most up-to-date list, you can check Disney Springs website. I'll include that link in the description down below. And currently the open locations are listed on the screen here. So for Disney Springs, there are a couple changes to be aware of. There are currently 4 entrances. So there's the Orange Garage, the Lime Garage, the Hotel Plaza Boulevard pedestrian bridge access, and the ride share drop-off location. Now for parking purposes, you are only limited to the Orange and Lime parking garages. In order to enter Disney Springs, screening is required. So there are some healthcare workers there taking temperatures before entering Disney Springs. If you have a temperature of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or more, you will be re-screened. And then if you test again at 100.4 or higher, you and your party will not be allowed access to Disney Springs. Cast members are also being screened. They are to be checking their temperature and completing their health screening questionnaire daily at home before they're coming to work. So everybody at Disney Springs is being screened, which in my opinion just makes it feel more safe. Now for some procedure changes, all guests ages 2 and up are doing face coverings. Disney has recently changed this. It used to be 3 and up, now it is 2 and up. So ages 2 and up have to wear a face covering at all times except while dining. So very important to keep your mask on at all times. They really haven't mentioned about if you get a snack and walking around with it, how that really works. But they did specify that you can take your mask off at your table while dining. So kind of interested to see how that comes into play once more things are opening up with different snack locations and how that will work exactly. But at this time we are really kind of unknown, but I would assume that they would allow you to take your mask off to take a drink of your drink as you're walking around. Disney has also put into place physical barriers for those kind of locations that would not really be feasible to social distance, for example cash registers. So there's plexiglass barriers around. Additionally, there are social distancing markers, so there's lines on the ground to kind of let you know where to be standing that's 6 feet apart. So Disney has laid out everything for social distancing prep. There's even a social distancing squad, so a team of cast members that will be going around to kind of make guests aware of the different rules that are happening and make sure everybody is social distancing properly. As far as payments go, Disney is encouraging guests to be using cashless forms of payment. So this is credit cards, debit cards, Disney gift cards, Apple Pay. Additionally, with mobile ordering, Disney has also added the option to pay with Disney gift cards and Apple Pay through mobile ordering, and are encouraging guests to use mobile ordering whenever possible, just to limit the number of contact opportunities with cast members and guests. So walking around Disney Springs, it might look a little bit different now. There are signs to remind guests to be social distancing and be wearing their face masks and to keep their hands kind of clean at all times. Additionally, there are some hand sanitizing stations and some hand washing stations throughout Disney Springs. The last big change at Disney Springs is that some locations will have reduced hours for the time being, and there will be no entertainment activities and no high-touch interactive activities. So this includes the train in the marketplace and the Void specifically. So those are temporarily unavailable at the time of filming. All this information can be seen at disneysprings.com in the Know Before You Go section, as well as the current locations that are open at Disney Springs. So that covers Disney Springs, and the reason I did that first was because a lot of the different methods, so the hand washing stations and the social distancing markers and the social distancing squads, all that kind of stuff is going to be carried over to the theme parks. So getting over to the theme parks now, Disney has finally announced an opening date. So on July 11th, Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom will be opening to the public. And on July 15th, Epcot and Hollywood Studios are going to open. Now, there's also a question about whether the water parks will open. At this time, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach have not announced an opening date. I know other water parks with like SeaWorld and whatnot are opening at this time, but for Disney purposes, the water parks are remaining closed until further notice. So a lot of information was covered at this task force meeting, so I'm going to kind of break it down into different categories to make it a little bit easier. So first of all is tickets. So Disney will be reopening at a limited capacity. So because of that, that means limited tickets will be sold. And also Disney is requiring you to make a reservation to visit a specific theme park on a specific day. So that'll be a little bit different, something else to get used to, but you will have to specify which park you're going to and which day in advance, and be sure you are making a reservation so you can get into the park. So the second thing to note about the tickets is that currently new ticket reservations are currently being suspended. This is just kind of to give preference to those who currently had reservations for tickets and to annual pass holders. So with all these changes, annual pass holders are also not guaranteed into the parks, and they still need a reservation to enter the parks. Now, interestingly, as an annual pass holder, I received an email from Disney the other day containing this little blurb about a special preview opportunity. So interested to see when that comes into play. At this time, the reservations for the parks are not open. Disney said that they will open these reservations to specify which park you want to visit as it gets closer to the opening date. Disney has also specified that they will be reaching out to guests with current reservations as well as annual pass holders to make these reservations to go to the parks. And then after those reservations are made, then they will start selling new tickets for other park guests. Now, I don't know how this will affect park hopper tickets, since you have to specify which park. Park hopper tickets might be going away. That's just speculation. Disney has not confirmed or denied what's happening with park hopper tickets. So the next category is resort reservations. So at this time, Disney has suspended all current resort reservations, so you could not book any new reservations except for DVC members. If you are a DVC member, you could still book resort reservations. Disney has not specified an opening date for all the resorts, except for Fort Wilderness Campgrounds will open up on June 22nd, in addition to the DVC resorts for members will open up on June 22nd as well. Now, they kind of have not specified what this means exactly, so I don't know if the restaurants and the retail locations will be opening in the resorts as well, or if it's just going to be opening to the rooms itself. They did specify that masks are to be worn at all times in public areas of the resort, so you can take your mask off in your room, but otherwise masks are required at all times. They have also stated that they want to limit the use of the front desk as much as possible, and are encouraging guests to utilize online check-in and mobile check-in to kind of go from car to room and avoid the front desk altogether, unless it's an absolute emergency. So the next category is dining. So this was a pretty big one in my eyes. Disney has currently canceled all Disney dining plans and advanced dining reservations through the end of 2020. This was done in part to just limit the number of guests in each restaurant so they can adjust their capacities and limit the number of reservations they can give out based on these new capacities. So, big change. Currently, all reservations are canceled through 2020. In addition to that, Disney is changing it from a 180-day window for the booking of the dining reservations to now a 60-day window. So, much closer to the date of travel. And Disney has also stated that they will open up these reservations as it gets closer to the opening date as well. Now, there are a few other things with the dining reservations that I want to mention here. First of all, Disney has confirmed there will be no character dining when the parks open. This is all phase one, so we might see character dining in the future, but as of now, when the parks reopen, there will be no character dining. Something else that has not really been mentioned yet is buffets. So I don't know how the buffets will be working, if those will be kind of closed as well for the first initial phases and then reopen later, if they're going to redo their process. Disney has not really announced what they're doing with buffets yet. And lastly, for Disney Springs restaurants, so just a little tip from me, not sure if this will work 100%, but as a backup. So if you have a reservation at Disney Springs that has gotten canceled, I do recommend checking opentable.com. So some of these Disney Springs restaurants are available on opentable.com. And since Disney is canceling their reservations, you can most likely grab a reservation on OpenTable and have that as your backup. So the last category is kind of what's happening and what's changing in the parks. So as I mentioned previously, a lot of the same stuff from Disney Springs is being carried over. So the signage, the social distancing squad, the hand washing stations, all those will be present in the parks. Transportation is another big one. So transportation will be limited, and make sure that social distancing is happening. So you might not be able to get on the boat right away. You might have to wait a little bit to get on the boat or the monorail, or the bus. So be sure to plan ahead for any of that kind of stuff. Again, Disney has not really specified how this is going to be changing, just that it's going to be limited. Disney has also canceled fast passes for the time being, and this is to utilize the additional queue space to space out these guests while in line. Now, I don't know how this will come into play for single rider lines. I would assume that those are also going to be going away, at least for the initial couple phases of the reopening. Now, it is Florida, and it will get hot and uncomfortable to be wearing a mask at all times. So Disney has mentioned they will have a mask relief area in the parks. They have not mentioned exactly what this will mean or where it will be located, but it will be an area of the park where you can actually take off your mask for a few minutes and get some fresh air. So, interesting to me. I don't really know how this will be working, but Disney will be releasing details on that very soon. So some other things that will be absent when the parks reopen: there will be no extra magic hours, there will be no fireworks, there will be no shows, or really anything that can kind of gather a large crowd. Additionally, there will be no character meet and greets. So this is for the safety of the characters and the cast members helping the characters. Characters will still be in the park, walking around and saying hi, but you cannot go up to them and actually meet them. So quite a few changes happening in the parks, but in a nutshell, that's kind of all of the changes that were mentioned at this Orange County Task Force meeting on Wednesday. So there you have it. That is the current reopening plans for Walt Disney World at the time of filming. So they do add updates every now and then, and it seems like recently they've been adding updates almost daily with new things added, new restrictions, new things are cutting out. But at the time of filming, that is what we know of right now. So what do you guys think? Do you think you're going to be going to the parks when they reopen? I'm personally kind of excited for the reopening, getting back into the parks with limited crowds. The fast passes being gone really doesn't matter too much, because if the crowds are limited, then the lines will be shorter anyways. And I feel like Disney's taken all the precautions necessary to make it a magical experience and a safe experience for everybody involved. So I'm excited to get back to the parks. Let me know in the comments below if you plan on going back to the parks, and if you need help planning your next Disney vacation. I will leave my contact information below for my Magical Vacation Planner email address. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see some more updates from us and some future park videos, hopefully coming pretty soon. So until next time, we will see you real soon.